Hey guys, hello everyone. I think this is working. Excellent. Let me just turn up the volume a little bit, just in case. Craig and the team, Karen and Joan, lovely to see you. You're first on first on the chats, and closely followed by Fiona. Hi, Fiona. Europe is treating me very well, thank you. Had an amazing what was it? 4 days in Germany. Just sort of flew by. The symposium, the MW symposium was amazing. Just lots and lots of information, lots of cool people, some amazing wines. So yeah, it's been really good. And now I'm back in the UK, and it's a bit whirlwind. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Hello, Daryl and Sue. Lovely to see you. Hello, Alison and Andrew. Good to see you too. So yeah, it's Paris was just awesome. I'm trying to remember when we last saw each other. It feels like such a long time ago. I was just about to head off to Paris. Hello, Kay. How you going? Um, so yes, so Paris was great. It was very hot weather. Charlotte walked me up and down the Eiffel Tower and all around. So we did a lot of walking, and I was pretty worn out by the end of that week. Hello, Rob and Deb. How lovely to see you. And I feel like I'm stalling for time to open the wine because I've just downed a big glass of orange juice to kind of wake me up. So I'm just waiting for the orange juice flavors to kind of dissipate a little bit. But please get stuck into your wine. I'll be getting this open in just a minute. Hello, Sarah and all the Trixers. Hello, Jackie and Hannah and Erin. Hi, David. Good to see you. Yeah, so Paris, all over the place. We got out just before the riots. Obviously, being on holiday and touristing around, we weren't listening to the news, so didn't know that there was anything going on until I started getting messages from friends saying, "Are you okay? Apparently, there are riots in Paris." But yes, Alison, we did. We left. Oh, when was it? Thursday. Oh, when was it? Thursday last week, so almost a week ago. And apparently there'd been a little bit of rioting on the Wednesday, I think, but we didn't see any of it. The only thing that made me slightly suspicious was the smell of burning rubber as we caught a taxi out to the airport very early on Thursday morning. So, there were probably some tyres being burnt somewhere nearby, but we managed to avoid it all. Hi Penny, hey, good to see you. Yes, very good to get away. So Charlotte, my niece, who I was in Paris with, is now down in Montpellier, I think, and she's doing a week with intensive French class with a whole lot of things. Oh, was there? Rob, was there a riot at Lord's as well? Oh, see, I haven't been watching the news. I've just been too busy running around uh, doing my stuff. I haven't even had time to look at the news. I knew that there was. I know that there's some unrest in the Middle East, and that's probably about all I've managed to catch up on. So, anyway, yeah, no, so all good, all safe. Managed to avoid all dangers so far. Paris was lovely, but a bit hot and a bit dirty, and just felt a bit tired and very expensive. So if you're a lover of Paris, then just be aware it's very, 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 very. Uh, yeah, it's very, very expensive, but still. Paris is still beautiful, so highly recommend. Robin Deb, it was very funny actually at cricket, haha. Um, yes, Alison, the French are very good at rioting and protesting when they're not happy with things. It is very much part of the French way. But yes, as I arrived in the UK just before I spoke to you 2 weeks ago, I got heckled by some Englishmen who heard my Australian accent and said, "You got no chance in the cricket, love." Ha ha. Ha." So more for them. So I think we're doing quite well cricket wise, I believe. But I had another Englishman yesterday say if we can't beat Australia when they're so shite and in our own country, then we've never got any chance. So they're all a bit sad over here, a bit gloomy. Anyway, um, What else has happened? Anyway, I'll come back to that afterwards. We probably need to get some wine in our glasses before everyone dies of thirst. So I sadly do not have a very nice wine glass today. I had the choice of or this or the plastic cup my orange juice came in, which I've opted to have water in instead. So I'm going to drink my wine out of this glass. Hello, Shell. How you going? Oh yes, David. I very much enjoyed playing cricket. No, I wasn't playing. I did sit next to a woman who was coming over for the women's cricket, and also was very excited to maybe catch a bit of tennis. But so far, most of the tennis has been rained out because after a whole week of beautiful weather here and in Europe, the weather's turned and it was a bit rainy the last couple of days. Looks like we've got some tentative sunshine this morning in Bristol, but who knows what the day will bring. So, Robinson. Also, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be drinking very much at 9 o'clock this morning, but I am going to catch up with some friends in Bath for lunch today. I'll be taking the rest of this bottle to enjoy with them, so they will have nice wine glasses, so I'll be able to actually enjoy it properly. Shell, Ricardo's, Albert Park takeaway, Casalinga, calamari, and polenta chips. Oh, delicious. Yes, Fiona, a vase might be not a bad idea. Alison, we did talk about me needing a travelling wine glass last time. To be honest, I have brought too many clothes. My mother, if she's watching, will be saying, "I told you so, Kate." But it has been a lot of different seasons in the last 2 and a bit weeks. But I should have left a couple of clothing items behind and packed my travelling wine glass. I shall remember better, hopefully, for next time, but I'm promising nothing. Fiona, making the recipe, having to substitute prawns because no time to get scallops. Fair enough. I think prawns would be very delicious with that as well. Make it with scallops one day because it's really good. Okay. Also, my hotel room, this is quite a cheap hotel for the UK. Premier Inn, clean, fine, but very self-serve and not a lot of extras on the thing. So, Robinson Chardonnay at room temperature because there's no fridge in my room either. Shock horror, but room temperature is good for me, particularly as it's not particularly warm here at the moment. So Robinson Chardonnay 2015. Okay, cheese puffs. Oh, new Thermomix. Awesome. Yes, everyone I know who has a Thermomix is very happy with it. Right. Glass, wine. Sorry, wine. Craig, did I meet Constantine? I've met Constantine before, Craig, but I didn't see him at the conference. No pillow menu, David. Just 2 old pillows plonked on the bed. Absolutely all right. Beautiful art, though. Oh, I usually do show. I did make my bed for you guys, so I will show you my hotel room. That's the extent of it. That's the art. Bathroom, entry hall, bathrooms over there. Window that doesn't open, my suitcase. No technology, but I know. Okay, Alison and Kay are talking about the Thermomix. That you guys can continue that conversation. I won't comment on that because that's going to confuse me too much. Penny, yes, absolutely. Room temperature is great. I know the lighting is very sexy. It's very appealing. I thought maybe if I turn this lamp on, it might help. No, yes, is that better? Slightly. No, then I'm just side lit. Anyway, we just make do with what we make do with. I don't even have Shell my beautiful round lamp. Does Premier have a pillow menu? Well, they don't actually put any information in the room. You have to go through their website to find out what is going on. But my pillows were very comfortable, Alison, so I'm not complaining about that. Very comfortable, clean bed, good bathroom, better than a lot of places I've stayed in the UK, I've got to say. So absolutely not complaining, just a bit sad about my wine glass. Anyway, No, nothing else. Hello, Jeff and Sue. Yay. Jeff, you're mobile again. That's great to hear. Well done. Cheers. You deserve a glass of wine. Hmm. Well, actually, to be honest, and we did this little experiment last time I was in a hotel room, I think in Sydney. And the reason that I've gone with this glass rather than the plastic bigger glass. Yeah, that's right, Kay. Everything's on the TV or on the website. So anyway, it's fine. I haven't really had time to sort of explore all of that because I just got in, did a tasting last night, and went to sleep and woke up to see you guys. So it's all pretty good. And there's a lovely cafe downstairs. I've got a little raspberry swirl kind of pastry thing to have with my coffee after I've drank Robinson Chardonnay with you guys. So let's do this. So as I was saying, I find if you don't have a proper wine glass, a little square tumbler is going to actually be better than a mug or a bigger plastic glass or whatever. It just seems to sort of concentrate the aromas reasonably nicely around the top of the glass, and you can get quite a lot out of it. I also have a cold. Surprise, surprise. Travel's so fun these days, isn't it? So I'm not smelling quite as well as I usually would. This sounds like my Kate on repeat, but I'm already getting some really nice Robinson Chardonnay characters out of this wine, even in its little tumbler. Please feel free to chip in any of your descriptors and how you're experiencing the wine as well, because you're probably in a better time zone for drinking Chardonnay. Almost, if you're going to drink wine in the morning, I think Chardonnay is not such a bad choice. It's probably that sounds bad, doesn't it? If you're going to taste wine in the morning, Chardonnay is definitely much easier than bigger, heavier red wines or Riesling. Little bit tangy in the morning. So I'm getting still some really nice white florals from this wine. And I was going to say lemon, but sort of candied lemon peel. So lemon meringue, I think, Fiona, is a really nice descriptor for the nose of that wine. It's got that sort of lifted, blossomy, slightly caramelized, sugary kind of notes that kind of work with the work with that sort of meringue descriptor. But then that lovely lemon curd, candied lemon rind aromas is really, really special. Alison, I agree, plastic glasses do take the pleasure from everything. And that's also part of my problem with my travel glass, because I've got one of those picnic glasses that I think Plum makes, but Riedel makes some as well. They're Perspex. So they're sort of plasticky, but they don't break when you pack them. So that was what I was planning to bring, but forgot. Anyway, doesn't matter. Happy with this. There's a little bit of cheesy kind of nutty notes coming through now, which is also very appealing. And, you know, I think these Robinson Chardonnays age so beautifully. When they're young, they're very floral, they're very kind of lemon fruited, and they just sort of soften down. You still get the citrus, a little bit of nectarine, Jackie, absolutely. There is this sort of savoury kind of cheesy biscuit kind of aromatic as well. Let's have a taste, shall we? I'm sure you guys have tasted a few times already with my talking. And I forgot to set myself up with a spittoon as well. Well done, Kate. Drinking wine at 9 o'clock in the morning. So the acid is still really lovely and fresh. It is like biting into a really lovely white nectarine. There's that lemon curd character, but there's absolutely no sweetness, but there's a lovely kind of mouth richness, which I think is really lovely. Nice, Anne. Thank you. Hello. Grilled white stone fruit. Absolutely, it does. It's got that slightly that caramelized aroma that you get from grilling fruit. It's not jammy at all. It doesn't taste cooked. It just tastes like someone's caramelized. The sugars. It smells like someone's caramelized the sugars a little bit, and then on the palate, it's really lovely and tangy and fresh still. Nina, drinking champagne, celebratory. How lovely. Yes, Jackie, I'm sure the rest of you are halfway through your glass. So yeah, I mean, this wine is looking incredibly fresh for 2015. I think on the palate, particularly, the nose is. Um, Nina, you'll have to tell me all about it. Is it your anniversary? Have I missed your anniversary? If it is, happy anniversary. If you've bought a house, you've got to tell me. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Um, Tiniest hint of struck match, absolutely. Just that little, it's not sulphidey at all, but there's that savory kind of flinty struck match kind of note to it, which is just, oh, Nina, that's so awesome. I'm absolutely calling you after this. So Peter and Nina have been trying to buy a house for a little while, so it sounds like maybe we have one, which is ace. Congratulations. Cheers. That's really, really cool. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, back to the wine. I'm calling you later, Nina. So we've got that lovely. It's just it and like all the great Robinson Chardonnays, and I do think 2015, a great vintage, really really lovely concentration. Um, Lovely. Hello, Jill. Oh, Jan and Cliff, and watching from Cape Shank. Hi guys. Who's looking after the dogs? All right, I need to talk to my family later. Sorry, everyone. Maybe Peter and Nina are at Moorooduc. Anyway, I will talk to the family later. Let's get back to the wine. This wine has such beautiful concentration, but finesse and elegance. It's got this lovely, even though there's so much flavour and there's so much going on, it's got this very light touch to it, which just makes it the perfect match to something like prawns or scallops, or even I didn't kind of go into lots of different food and wine matches for you this week, but I wouldn't be surprised if at least one household was having fish and chips tonight, because it would be fantastic with that as well. Um, but it just on its own, or with some charcuterie, a little bit of cheese, this would be fantastic with aged Comté. And it's just in a really beautiful place right now. Very exciting. Oh, good, Pete. um, it's as I say, the colours developed a little bit, but it's still quite pale. It's got such lovely brightness. It's just opening up and showing its depths a little bit more than a really young Robinson Chardonnay would. It's one of those conversations that it's really interesting. You know, you have conversations with so many people at things like the symposium in Germany. They had 400 people there, or from all around the world, obviously all interested in wine, not masters of wine. Anyone can go to the MW symposium. And if you haven't been following me on Instagram, very excited to say that the next Master of Wine Symposium is going to be held in Adelaide in 2026. So, oh, hello, Dies. Oh, you've got a new puppy. How delightful. Hello, Ivy. Poppy is digging up the 18th. Oh, Polly, yes. No, I don't think Polly's allowed at Cape Shank. She would not be very well behaved. If I was going to take one wine and vintage to my conference to show off Moorooduc Estate, what would it be? So, Craig, I've just done that. So we had we had an opportunity on last Thursday afternoon to anyone who's a master of wine who is involved in making wine was invited to show two of our wines to the rest of the delegates. It was an amazing walk around tasting. There were about 40 or 50 different masters of wine pouring their wine in the room from all around the world. There was a good Australian contingency. There were quite a few people from France, mostly English masters of wine who've moved to France to make wine. There were some American wines. There was a Lebanese wine. There were a lot of really great wines. We didn't get to taste each other's wines as much as we would have liked to, because we were too busy pouring for everybody else, and it was an absolute bun fight. But the wines I chose to show, and it's always tricky, because I think it's important at that sort of thing to show people things that they actually can aspire to buy rather than just back vintages. And in the past, because we've done this a couple of times before for symposia, I've taken an older wine and a younger wine. So this year I decided to take the current release estate Pinot, which is the 2019, as you know, and a 2019 Robinson Pinot, so that I could do the compare and contrast um, of what the estate wine, when we blend the three vineyards together, looks like compared to one of the single vineyard wines. I chose the Robinson Pinot from 2019 because I love it, but also because there's still a preconception in the rest of the world outside of Australia that Australia can't make elegant, refined wines with purity and line to them. And I think of all of our wines from all of our different vineyards at Moorooduc Estate, both the Robinson Chardonnay and the Robinson Pinot Noir are the ones that both the best represent that elegance and purity and line and finesse. So it is the Robinson Pinot has done well in past years for us in the UK, where people have been surprised at its restraint and its purity of fruit. And then that leads to a really lovely discussion about cool maritime climates in Australia. So those were the wines I chose to show Craig, but I was also allowed a second bite at the apple because of the Australian. Before I move on to that, the wines were very, very well received, and people were really surprised. Not the duck, because it needs more time, and also it. I think the 2020 and the 21 duck would probably be very well received in the UK, but I think if anyone's heard of our wine, if anyone's tasted our wine, the duck is the one that they will have tasted or read about. So I wanted to show them something a little bit different, but yes, mostly because the duck needs more time, and I think that at a quick tasting, the Robinson tends to show better. In a more the Robinson's a bit more friendly on first meetings, I think. So the wines were very, very well received. People loved them, and I've had quite a few inquiries about, do we sell our wine in Germany? If we don't, would we like to? So watch this space. I think that would be amazing. Although I think selling high-end Australian wine in Europe is still going to be quite difficult, and needs someone who's really prepared to hand sell it. So, and I think that a lot of people, they'll taste it and go, wow, that's amazing, but don't realize quite how difficult it is to sell it. But I was able to back up 2 classic Moorooduc Estate Pinots on the first day of the symposium with the Pinot Gris on skins. On Sunday at lunch, we had an Australian outdoor lunch to celebrate the fact that Australia is going to be hosting the symposium in 3 years' time. And we got to show the 2022 Pinot Gris on skins, and people were really shocked and amazed by that wine. So it's really nice to, so Craig, in short, one wine and vintage, I think probably right at the moment, if I just only was showing something for purely best wine we've ever made kind of basis, that's a really hard question, but I'd maybe right now I might show one of the 2012s, either the Duck Chardonnay or the Duck Pinot. But the fact that I had the luxury of being able to show 3 wines across the 4 days meant that I was able to tell a little bit more of a Moorooduc story and tantalize people a bit more. So hopefully, there'll be more people who maybe come to see us when they come out to Australia from other parts of the world. And certainly when everyone comes over to Adelaide in 2026, we're going to be working on some extension trips. So hopefully we'll get some people down to Victoria and get them into the room at Moorooduc and really kind of indoctrinate them properly. So yeah, Craig, I'm not very good at just one wine, one vintage to show us off. But yeah, there was also, we had some incredible tastings of we tasted maybe 12 of the best Rieslings in the world. And it was really lovely to see the Grosset Polish Hill in that mix, and the Riesling Freak, one of the Riesling Freak wines as well. So a couple of Australian wines in there. We also did an incredible tasting of wine that went back to the 1950s, I think, or was it the 1940s? Anyway, we started with a very old sherry and a very old port, and sort of moved forward decade by decade. So that was pretty incredible. The Ridge wine from Cabernet from the 70s was pretty cool as well. And the Tignanello from a double magnum from 1983, Jeremy's birth year, was the wine of that tasting. It was absolutely awesome. Penny, it was really exciting, and it was very exciting to be able to showcase our wines. It was very cool. Grosset Polish Hill 2009. It would have been fantastic, and that was the amazing thing about that Riesling tasting, that people were going, "Oh, the Grossets are a bit," because they were 2022s, because that's presumably all that that Jeffrey had to send to the symposium. And I was really sad there wasn't an Australian um, up on the stage to be able to, because Jeff didn't come to the thing. He did a pre-recorded presentation of his wine, which was fine, but it would have been really nice to have someone say, the reason that you're getting current release Polish Hill rather than something that's got proper age on it is because Australian winemakers are so discouraged from holding back vintage wine that it's a very expensive process, and he wouldn't have had enough of anything with any significant age on it to be able to share with 400 delegates at the Institute of Masters of Wine. But who knows what will come up in 2026. Craig, I think Drinks with Kate is going to be heading to Adelaide. The tickets for the symposium are not cheap, as you would imagine, but it is if you want to really geek out on wine stuff, it will absolutely be the place to be in 3 years' time. So it's in November. I don't have the exact date on me, but we'll keep you updated. I'm hoping to be involved in part of the organising committee, but they haven't called for applications yet. So we'll see how we go. Very exciting. Absolutely a road trip, Shell, and we could go and visit some wineries on the way there, and on the way back would be amazing. Nareem, I'm just wondering, just coming back to your puppy news, what kind of puppy do we have? Please send me a picture. But yeah, so very exciting times, very lovely to be back in the UK as well. And the tasting we did last night was with a little independent retailer called Le Vignoble. They've got a beautiful shop in Bristol. Any of you who know Bristol, excellent cupcakes would be excellent. Good on you for nominating Kay for cupcakes, Craig. Absolutely, fundraising is going to be required. You can be my groupies. That'd be really cool. Do you want to come be my groupies in Adelaide? Follow me around and make me look important. Fiona, getting more savoury notes now. I think that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, I get what you're saying about horseradish. It's not sort of bitey like horseradish, but it's got that sort of there is a savoury sort of root vegetable kind of a note to this wine. The other thing I like to do if I'm drinking one of these semi-mature Robinson Chardonnays, and we've done this before as a food and wine matching option, is just to chop up some white root vegetables. So I'm talking potatoes, I'm talking parsnips, I'm talking celeriac. You could even have what else could you have in there? Oh, definitely some onion if you like a bit of roast onion, and a couple of bulbs of garlic kind of broken up, and just mix that all up with salt and pepper and olive oil and roast it on a relatively high heat for about an hour. So you get really beautiful, and stir it a couple of times. So you get some really beautiful roasted white root vegetables, and then have that with maybe some aioli or even just some sour cream or creme fraiche on the top, a little bit more salt if you need it. That is a gorgeous match too. Oh, you can put some cauliflower in there too. Roasted cauliflower is pretty good as long as you don't burn it. That's tricky sometimes, but amazing. This wine has a lot of that savoury sort of roasted caramelized vegetable kind of note that works really well with those flavors. So yeah, Fiona, I don't think that savory thing, and it's quite hard to describe. For me, it's a little bit like roast celeriac. Mm. We'll definitely have to get a new T-shirt for the event, Penny, if and when. I think tour T-shirts are a big thing on the horizon, and we do have. So now we've got a couple of drinks with Kate trips because we've got. So next year we've got to kind of work out if we want to do something local because we're not going to go to Italy, Sardinia. No, not Sardinia. What am I talking about? Penny, remind me where we're going. Uh, until 2025, and then we've got the symposium in 2026. So I think it's time to start saving, kids. got some pretty expensive things to do. Oversized unisex teas, absolutely, Shell. I agree. Sicily, thank you, Penny. A little bit of daikon. I think that would be. I think that's right, Fiona. I was trying to think of daikon, and weirdly enough, we've still got a lot of daikon coming up in the vineyard as a result of our most recent cover crop thing. Roasted sweet potato, white sweet potato. Yeah, it would have gone beautifully with this wine, Rob and Deb. I think we forget about beautiful vegetables. Side trip to Champagne, and we will talk about it. Absolutely, it's quite a long way from Sicily to Champagne, but there are these amazing things called aeroplanes. So it looks like it could all be possible. Craig, I was thinking about New Zealand next year, but maybe Mudgee might be Orange. We could go and visit Orange. Go on a road trip. Anyway, lots of time. There's lots of time to organise all of that. But yes, roasted vegetables and the way they sort of caramelize and develop all of those lovely umami flavours when you cook them properly are such a great match to a beautiful Chardonnay like this. And we all kind of go rushing to the seafood, which is also nice. Or we've talked about this before, a really perfectly roasted chicken would be also good with this. But for me, with the roast chicken, I'm always kind of chasing the roast potatoes that go with it more than the chicken with a wine like this. That's just me. But yeah, the wine is evolving, even in my little water glass, quite nicely. There's a bit more of that cheesy note coming up as well now for me. There's still some really nice floral lift, which I think is just gorgeous. I do feel like I'm not doing this wine justice, unfortunately, but I think you guys are probably doing it much more justice than me. An excuse to visit Orange, Alison. There's always a good excuse to it. Orange is terrific. It's kind of hard to get to. You could take a little aeroplane and then hire a car and chuff over there. So, I think, all right, we might have to work out a couple of little side trips for next year. I am running out of things to say. So while we're planning our travel things, I'm going to just give you a little roundup of what's going to be happening for the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I left it too late to get Kay organised, and she's now got other plans for next week, Kay, which is absolutely understandable. So I apologise for getting my weeks wrong. But next week you have another break from me because I will literally be on the aeroplane flying home. So that is that, and I won't even have got to for 6:00 your time. I won't have even got to, or I might be in Singapore by then. Anyway, too hard. I won't have any wine, but I might send you a little video that someone sent me for you to have a look at to remind you how Moorooduc stacks up in the world of Pinot Noirs. And then the week after next, unless anyone else would like to run a little impromptu group tasting next Thursday on a wine of your choice. And if you would like to, please email me and I'll put you in contact with the gang, and that could happen. David, just refresh your glass. Salty air on the nose. So this wine always has, thank you for bringing that up, Fiona, because this wine always has that kind of saline sea breeze kind of a note to it. Sometimes it combines with the lemon to give you a real kind of preserved lemon kind of character. But I think this wine, the lemon's kind of gone past that and is more the lemon curd and candied lemon. But there is definitely that sea breeze, salty sea breeze character on the wine. And it's one of the things that a lot of people notice about our Chardonnays, both Robinson and McIntyre. I think with a bit of age, it really kind of comes to the fore, which is awesome. Richard, you're doing the chat. Are you guys missing me? So yes, I'll be flying back next Thursday. I get in at silly o'clock on Friday morning, and the following week we have our final wine from this pack, which I can't off the top of my head remember what it is, but I know it's from 2015. And what have we not done yet? Could it be a Pinot? I haven't got. Hang on a sec. Let me see who can get to it first, you guys or me. But I will be sending out a little email. Pinot Gris, of course, Fiona. We hadn't done the Pinot Gris. We haven't done the Pinot Gris yet. So we're doing the 2015 Pinot Gris next week. Not next week. In 2 weeks' time, in a fortnight. So that's awesome. That'll be great. I'll put my thinking hat on while I'm flying home to think of the perfect wine and food match, and I will send that out to you on Monday week. I can't imagine, Shell, that Richard will be putting up his hand to host next week, but I could be wrong. Dad, would you like to have a go at doing running drinks with Kate next week? I would get off the aeroplane to tune in for that one. I would be very interested to see how that goes. Jackie, Richard, maybe you could host next week, pretend we're medical students. I think that could be good. He would need Peter there possibly to help with the technology, although that's probably not fair because Dad's very good with technology these days. What do you reckon, Dad? Give it a crack? Watch this space. He's forgotten how to do the chat. Oh, no, we want to get rid of Polly. She may be debarked by the time I get back. Oh dear. You're not allowed to debark dogs anymore. You have to just talk to her. She's obviously feeling stressed or bossy or bored or something. I apologise for my dog. Mum and Dad have had all the dogs with them for a little while, so they probably are sick of being a dog sitting service. All right, gang. I'm just going to have another sip of this wine it's slipping down surprisingly nicely. Does that suggest that I'm starting to have a problem? I think I might need some alcohol-free days. Stress and bossy are my two moods. Me too, Shell. You, me, and Polly, we're like sisters. Looking terrific, this wine. I'm looking forward to enjoying the rest of it with my friends in Bath at lunchtime. When I think it will look even better in wine glasses. Until I see you all again, my beautiful people, stay well. Think of me. As I said, I'll be in Bath today at lunchtime. I'll be in Plymouth tonight, and then heading from Plymouth up to Basingstoke on Friday. It certainly does. It certainly does, Fiona. It's a good way to wake up. Weekend with friends, London for the first 3 days of next week, and then home again. So really enjoying the travel, but looking forward to my own bed in a week's time. I will see you all in a fortnight. Take care, and you can do a bit of thinking about where we should go on a road trip next year if we're going to do such a ridiculous thing. In the meantime, take care. Lovely brekkie wine. Lovely to see you all. Missing you all desperately. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care, everyone. Love you all.